What is going on, you guys? It's DSDude464 here, bringing you another great video. Today, we are going to be talking about the new upcoming looter slasher, Godfall, which will be available this week on November 12th for PlayStation 5 and PC. November 12th is, of course, the PlayStation 5 launch date, and that's because this is one of the PlayStation 5 launch titles. Godfall is a third-person looter slasher that allows you to take the role of one of the last remnants of an exalted knight's order intent on stopping the apocalypse and preserving their world. These knights are known as Valorians, and have access to powerful, godlike plates of armor known as Valor Plates. We'll be able to find and equip other Valor Plates in the game, each with their own characteristics and historical lineage. Each Valor Plate is directly tied to one of the 12 archons of this world, which are essentially the gods. Now, this all has me extremely excited. As you all know, I am a huge lore junkie and love world building. This game initially drew me in because it just looks so cool, but it also seems like a world full of exciting and deep lore. They had mentioned that they took inspiration from things like Lord of the Rings and Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive, which gets me so excited because those are two of the greatest fantasy series ever, in my opinion. In that regard, there's a small quote from an early interview that talks more about the world, which is as follows. Godfall is a brand new IP set in a bright high fantasy universe filled with heroic knights, arcane magic, and forbidden realms. The world is split up into the realms of earth, water, air, fire, and spirit. In the trailer, the player is gazing up from the earth realm towards the water realm, which is the swirling maelstrom ocean sky above. The obelisk is known as the Skybreaker Monolith, which you will learn more about at the start of the game. Now, the story so far really does sound pretty great and has me so excited to dive in and learn so much about this world. But let's dive into what we know so far about the actual gameplay. Now, the gameplay itself certainly doesn't seem to be revolutionary by any means, but it is sticking to a tried and true third-person action-adventure system. There are 5 weapon classes that all have their own combos, styles, and special abilities. There's the longsword, dual blades, polearms, heavy two-handed hammers, and heavy two-handed greatswords. Longswords are your usual versatile middle ground weapon. Dual blades excel at fast combos for high single target damage, and polearms, hammers, and greatswords all seem to be slower weapons but excel in large AoE attacks. Along with each of those weapon classes are cooldown abilities, such as the dual blades allow you to throw one of your blades that's attached to a chain and pull the enemy it hits towards you. Or the longsword has a dashing ability that hits every enemy that you pass through. Each individual weapon will have additional bonuses to things such as cooldown speed, crit damage, and other potential bonuses like elemental damage. You will also obtain other items that will change your playstyle, such as amulets and artifacts. Here's another quote about how the loot and the gaming loop works. Godfall offers flexible classes for players to easily swap roles in the middle of combat or in a mission. We have a wide spectrum of weapon classes ranging from small and nimble to heavy and powerful. Players collect powerful ancient armor sets called Valor Plates, which contain myriad slots for players to insert powerful augments that influence your playstyle. For example, you might add an augment into your Valor Plate that heals you and your allies whenever you hit an enemy's weak point for survivability. Or you might insert a different augment that summons deadly magical missiles that target nearby enemies for soft AoE damage whenever you hit a weak point. We also know that this game was designed specifically with co-op in mind that allows up to 3 players, but the game can be played completely solo as well. We have also recently learned that there will be matchmaking available, so if you don't have any friends to currently play that game with, like me, you'll be able to drop in, drop out with anyone who is currently playing online. The combat itself, like I said, is relatively familiar. You have your light attacks and your heavy attacks, and you combine them to create combos of different types. You have the abilities for each weapon class and some that come with your Valor Plate, and you have mechanics like blocking and parrying to open up abilities, and there's even things like ground pounds when you fill up sort of like a Sekiro stamina meter that builds up as you deal damage to them to end in a big, beautiful flourish attack. We've also recently learned more about the endgame for Godfall. It's going to revolve around a hybrid of a boss rush with roguelike attributes. You'll enter a sort of randomly generated quest or dungeon that will have you playing through various rooms, learning what is new about the boss this time around, and granting you boons that will help you better defeat the boss. There are 18 of these levels in total, and this is where you will obtain the endgame loot, so to speak. These 18 bosses will be bosses that you've already faced in the campaign, but there will be something altered, something changed about them. Maybe they deal a different type of damage or have a new attack, or maybe they're immune to a specific type of damage. Now, this all sounds quite incredible and is designed specifically with replayability in mind. This game is supposed to be a full and complete product at launch. It's not going to be a game as a service or anything like that. So the idea that they are launching the game with this type of replayability is very exciting and has me super happy to get my games on this amazing game this Thursday. Now, that is a pretty good overview of what we know about the game itself. But before I wrapped up, I did want to talk about one more thing about the game. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the mobile game Infinity Blade. Some of you may actually recognize it more recently from an event in Fortnite. The game itself had you playing as a character who couldn't die and would be reborn into a new body every time you were defeated. The game revolved around this loop and could be considered a looter slasher itself. There were a total of 3 games and even 2 books written by Brandon Sanderson around this story and universe. It was a unique and extremely fun game that was one of the first fully fledged fun video games on mobile. Unfortunately, a few years ago, Epic Games announced they would no longer be supporting the game and removed them from the App Store. Nothing had come of the IP until the Fortnite event, which actually got some fans extremely excited, thinking maybe they were thinking of doing something more, but unfortunately, nothing did come. Now, the reason I bring this up is because of the striking similarity between Infinity Blade and what we've seen of Godfall. For example, the first weapon we see in the Godfall announcement trailer bears a striking resemblance to that of the Infinity Blade itself, which, in my opinion, is very significant and I do not think it should be pushed aside. I'll go ahead and throw up a side-by-side image for each of the weapons. Now, the design is so clearly similar. The opening in the middle with the runes and the open blade in the center going all the way up the blade. Very, very similar to each other, which in my opinion is significant because the whole video game series on mobile revolved around the Infinity Blade. In addition to that, they're both looter slashers and are even produced by Epic Games, which, I know isn't a lot. And all that being said, I don't believe that this is actually going to be a reboot or a console version of Infinity Blade. I mean, after all, we do know it is a completely new IP. But rather, I believe it could be sort of a spiritual successor. There was so much in the world of Infinity Blade that could have been further developed and explored. Maybe this game will use some of those ideas, or maybe we'll get an Easter egg even in the form of a weapon, or even just a sly remark or something like that. I'm hopeful, as I was a big fan of the Infinity Blade universe and would love something even resembling it to resurface, which we may be getting in this game. But I suppose we'll find out in the coming days and weeks how true that is. Now, if you wanted even more information about this game, I highly recommend you check out both Eric's Gaming and My Name is Byth, who I have linked down in the description below. They've been following this game for quite some time and have some awesome videos on their channels. They were both sponsored by Gearbox for a lot of this gameplay, or for a lot of these videos, and they have some awesome videos. Now that that's all taken care of, I did have a bit of housekeeping regarding my channel that I wanted to discuss. First of all, regarding my long absence. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that I have been almost a year now away from uploading any videos. I've been quite busy with work, school, and my family. But that being said, I am very close to graduating, and as such, I have a lot more time on my hands. So, I'm back, and I'm here to stay. I'm also going to be shifting my channel a bit going forward. Now, I'm still planning to cover upcoming games that I'm interested in, and even following them a little bit as they release. However, what I'm adding to my channel is going to be some game reviews. I've been planning on moving my channel in that direction for a while, and I think that now is a great time to do so. I'll be starting with my review of the game Hunt Showdown, which is sort of the game that launched my channel and got it started, and I know it's been a while since the game came out, but I've never actually given my opinion and review of the game. Followed shortly thereafter by the review of Godfall after I get my hands on it this Thursday, and probably play it all weekend long. Now, what I'll actually be taking away from my channel is those lore videos that I've sort of dabbled with, mainly in the Hunt Showdown, but a little bit more in like the Soul Calibur video and things like that I've uploaded. I want to have a bit more of a specialized channel, and as such I need to pull away from those more generalized videos and keep things together and cohesive. But that being said, I do have something in the works where lore is concerned, so keep your eyes out for that. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and be sure to check out all my other great content. It really helps a lot to have that support from you guys. I don't think you realize how much the YouTube algorithm catches on to likes and comments. So please be sure to do that. Let me know what you think about Godfall down in the comments below. Thanks so much again, you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.